Today I'll be sharing 5 sources of hidden pork in your food. So why is this important to know? Well, for those of us following the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, we know that there are certain foods that we are allowed to eat and certain foods that we cannot eat. And those laws, the dietary laws, are actually found in Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14. And the scripture where you can find it specifically talking about pork or swine is Leviticus 11:7. Leviticus 11:7 reads, "And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you." And since we know that the swine is unclean, then we need to make sure that the food that we're eating does not contain any remnants of it whatsoever. And those of you out there that are Christian might say, well, God cleansed all meats and we can eat whatever we want. Well, I just want you to think about, why would God make dietary laws in the first place? Maybe there was a reason for that. Maybe a beneficial reason for your health. And I would suggest just looking at those scriptures and seeing which animals are clean and which ones are unclean, and doing a little research on that. But there are other reasons, health reasons, logical reasons why we should not be eating pork. And warning, I'm going to be showing some graphic images, but at the beginning of my journey, before I started even looking at the dietary laws, I was shown a video that had some really graphic images about, swine, pork, and unclean foods. And you need to see that, really. You need to see it in order to really fully understand what's going on. So I'm going to be showing some graphic images. They're not too bad. But let's talk about some basic facts about pigs. Well, pigs are able to contract diseases very easily due to their living conditions. These companies, they want money. Profit is their ultimate goal. And so they're not going to care how they treat these animals. So diseases can spread very easily due to their living conditions. It's filthy in their pens and not cleaned very good. Also, the pigs may be fed drugs and antibiotics through their feed, and also, vaccination and such. And this is not healthy for the human body. Antibiotics and all these different things they're injecting into the pigs is having an effect on us as we consume it. And this is another reason why they should not be consumed. And the slaughtering of pigs, they just get abused and treated horrifically. You can look up some of the things that they're doing to animals nowadays in the meat industry, not just pigs. But it's hard to look at. But other than these things concerning the meat industry, pigs have a digestive system that is very basic. And so they're able to digest their food fairly fast. And this makes them actually store toxins in their body. Because, they just put the food in, it comes out, they don't go through the process of, when we read in Leviticus 11, where it talks about chewing the cud, they don't go through that long digestive process. So it's a very fast input-output. And pigs do have a few sweat glands, but few of them are functional. And this is why you see them rolling around in mud all the time, to cool down their bodies, because they do not really sweat. And so they can't sweat out those toxins. And so the meat that you're consuming is ridden with toxins. Also, if you ever heard about the trichinosis worm. Those worms are also found in pork, and they are hard to kill off with cooking, even at the highest temperature in your oven. That's why there's so many dangers about undercooked pork, because they have these parasitic worms in the meat. And there's some really gross videos on YouTube about this, so you can look this up, and just warning you, that's also very graphic. So yeah, those were some basic health reasons why pigs should not be consumed, strictly pertaining to health. So now I'm gonna go into the topic of this video: 5 sources of hidden pork in your food. Number 1, gelatin. Gelatin is like this flavorless, colorless collagen, and it's usually derived from the skin, bones, and connective tissues of animals such as cows and pigs. So when you see desserts like Jello, you got your yogurt, pudding, some frosted cereals, it's that thickening agent. And marshmallows too. Yeah, marshmallows is pretty sad. Of course, you can find vegan marshmallows and stuff like this, but your generic ones will have gelatin in them. And there is such thing as beef gelatin, but you really don't know unless it labels that. But still, it's the skin, bones, and connective tissues, so I don't think you want to eat that either. Number 2, lard. Now, a lot of you may already know that lard is made from fat, pig fat, but you have to really be careful of, checking the products that you're eating to make sure that they don't contain this ingredient. And this will be found in a lot of baked goods like your pie crust, biscuits, donuts. Also, do not buy lard to cook with it. I know it looks all creamy and white and immaculate and everything, but remember,
it's made from this.
And it's made from the fat at that, so I really don't think you want to eat that. Number 3, rennet. Rennet is a composite of digestive enzymes that is found in the stomachs of some mammals. And this product can come from different sources. It can come from vegetables, it can be genetically engineered, and it can also come from the stomachs of these animals. This rennet is used in the process of cheese making, separating the curds from the whey. But with these companies, they are not legally required to tell what source they use to make their rennet. So you really never know how your cheese is being made. It could be made with animal rennet, it could be made with vegetable rennet. So I would say the best thing to do would be to buy organic cheese and, just try to transition more over to less dairy in your diet. Number 4, mono and diglycerides. These glycerides can be found naturally in some oils, but in the food industry, they can be synthetically manufactured, or they can be derived from the fat of cows and pigs. So like I mentioned earlier for the rennet, the source is questionable. So the best thing I would say to do is be on the lookout for it and avoid it, because you really do not need these extra ingredients in your food. Some common foods which may contain mono and diglycerides are baked goods, whipped toppings, various beverages, peanut butter, and chewing gum. Number 5, natural and artificial flavors. Now this is probably the most blanket statement that pork can come under, so watch out for products that contain this ingredient, and even look for products labeled natural, because natural is not equivalent to healthful.